Hey everybody, it's Aggie. I'm Agnes Friedlander, and today I wanted to share with you how I edit my photos, how I take photos of my artwork, how I edit them to look their absolute best. So, I gotta remove this comment. So, I've got an iPhone. I'm going to be talking about how I use my iPhone. And typically, what I do, if I can, I take my artwork outside and use natural lighting. Here on my phone, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of photos of artwork that's pretty large that I just had leaned up in my studio here. This one's called Fall Forest. And I just popped this picture really quick. And then I've got another one here of our white peacock. These are both classes that I have taught in the Painter's Journey. That's my online membership. So I think those are the two I wanted. Oh, and here's one more. This one's called Hello Fall. This one is uh, part of our Sunny Pumpkins class. And I'm very excited about opening that class up again really soon with we're coming up with a pretty exciting offer on that one, Shelly and I. So anyway, let's talk about editing. Okay, so for this one, as I said, I'm using my iPhone, and the very first thing that you want to do is create a folder so that you can find all these edited photos later. The whole idea is maybe you're going to be listing these products on your website or on your Etsy shop or something like that, and you need to be able to find these JPEG files. That's what your photo is. And so that you can select that and upload that. So first create a place to put them. So what I'm going to do, oh, this is kind of hard to do with this down so low. I got to move this a little bit. Sorry. I'm going to remove myself from the view here. Okay, so you can see this hopefully a little bit better. And so on my phone, I'm just going to go to my home screen and I'm going to find my files tab. So it's usually on the main level and it's called iCloud Drive, right? And on my iCloud Drive, I can create a new folder. I think it's this three dots at the top, new folder, and I'm just going to name it Shop Listings. How's that? Shop Listings, because these are some new items I'm going to be listing in my shop, right? Whether your shop is your website or Etsy or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just a folder where you're going to put all of your edited photos of your artwork, right? So now we're going to go back to our photos over here. Here are my photos that I took, right? Now, granted, I didn't spend a lot of time taking this photo. I did this really quick just to demonstrate this to you. But let's say this is the photo that I'm going to use. I'm going to try and make this photo look the best that I can. And usually I'll take more than one photo, but I was in a hurry. So I'm going to click edit at the top here. And that's where I get all these options. And the reason why I'm sharing this is you may have, you may not really even know about all of this. Probably you do, or maybe you only know about some of the features. So it's fun to spend a little bit of time learning new things, using your smartphone for all of its abilities, right? So, or at least some of its abilities. And let's face it, our photography is really important if we're trying to sell our artwork. So, to start off with, I do want to crop in on this, but I want to mention to you, I intentionally took this photo with extra background space around my artwork because that's going to allow me um, some leeway, and it also makes for better color, believe it or not. So I'm going to click the crop first. And if you see these little icons come up at the bottom, this first one is to make it straight if I didn't have it quite straight enough. So I'm gonna go back to 0 because it was pretty straight. But this one is really cool. This will help me tilt it if I didn't have my camera completely perpendicular to the frame. So I adjusted that just a little bit. And because I adjusted it, it's no longer centered. So I'm gonna basically center it a little bit better now, right? But oops, I didn't mean to affect the cropping there. So that's a little bit better now. Get it back in the center. And then this one on the end, look what that does. It tilts it. You know, sometimes I don't have my camera held completely straight, so that helps with that. I'm going to put it back on 0 though. Okay, so now I have it a lot straighter in there. And let's say I do want to crop right up to the edge of my um, artwork. I can do that now. I can bring this down like this, get it really close to that. Same thing here. And it's pretty straight now. And hit crop. So that's a lot better. Now I'm ready to actually edit the colors and all of that. So I'm gonna click done on the cropping part, go back and edit again. And this very first tool here, this magic wand, that does like an kind of some automatic stuff for you, which you may or may not like. But I'm going to go ahead and fine tune each one. And I can tell that some change occurred because if I look at the outline of each of these attributes, you see how there's a little highlighted outline? That tells me that it did do a little something something to that. See, it turned the brilliance up. When it's at the normal, it'll be on that center dot. So if, let's say I'm not sure about that brilliance, I can go back and change that now if I want to. Next thing is highlights. I usually make my highlights a little darker. So that would be to the left of the dot. This is the dot right there. And I went to the left of the dot just a bit. The next thing is shadows. Let's see what happens if we bring our shadows darker. I'll make them a little bit darker. Contrast, I don't usually use too much. Brightness seems like it needs to be just a little brighter. I do like using the black point and bringing the black point up a little bit. So this is kind of hard to show on my, with a video camera, but when you're looking at this in person, you'll really see the changes happening. Saturation, when I used automatic, it raised my saturation. I might raise the saturation just a little bit more, but I really wouldn't change that too much because then it's not going to be an accurate representation of your artwork, and you don't want that to happen. Vibrance is up a little bit. And then if I'm shooting it in shadow, it can put a blue cast. So I'll make it a little bit warmer. And it is kind of dark in my studio sometimes. So I do like adding a little bit of warmth. So now that looks really super good. It is cropped in a little bit. And now that I look at it closer, I can see that there is a little bit of background showing right there on the bottom. But chances are when I go to put this on my website, I can fix that. So that would be that for that one, I would say done. And then the next one, we've got this one. So you'll really see the changes happening on this one, I think, a little bit more, especially with crop. So I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to select this crop tool at the bottom. And again, I can really tilt this now to straighten that out because that was really skewed before. I think this way it looks pretty good. I don't need to use that. I can put that back on 0. So now I can bring this cropping in to here. I might need to readjust again because maybe I thought I had it, but now that I have the cropping lines closer, I can see that I needed to change it a little bit more. Bring this down, bring this in a little closer, and so on. Okay, so now I have it much, much better. Oh, actually, I see at the top that the background is showing there. It is still skewed. So let's go back and see if we can fix that a little bit better. Sometimes it is better to just reshoot the photo. Let's see if I can. Oh, maybe I do need to do this a little bit. Not quite. That's pretty close. No, I'm still cropping in on it a little bit. So it does pay to really take your time and get it as straight as possible because I am having a little bit of a hard time. But I wanted to show you, I wanted to show you this on purpose. Um, so I can always hit done and then revert back to the way I had it to go back to the original. And let's see if we can crop it again because I think I got a little bit in the weeds with that one. So let's do that. Bring this in a little and see if we can make it a little bit better. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to. There is only so much you can do, but that's pretty straight. Come in just a little bit more here. Here. In all honesty, I would probably wind up reshooting this one. But at least it shows you the importance of trying to get the best, straightest picture to start with. Okay, so now I'm going to hit done for the cropping. And now I still want to edit the colors. So I'm going to click my auto. And sometimes I'll click it on and off to see what a difference it made. So it didn't do too much. And then I go through each one. The first one is exposure. Maybe I'll make it a little brighter. Brilliance is basically kind of gives it a glow, and it gives the colors a little more pop. Highlights I usually bring to the other side, or usually lower them so that I don't get a blown out look, a washed out look. Shadows, it depends. If it's in a dark area, you might want to lighten up the shadows. So this way would be lightening them, going this side. So I am going to lighten it a little bit. Contrast is fine. Brightness is fine. I do like making my blacks nice and dark. So black point I raised. Saturation looks pretty good. Again, I wouldn't make it too saturated because that is going to misrepresent the accuracy of your colors. So, and vibrance adds kind of like a golden glow, which already this one already has a lot of gold in it, so I don't really want to do that too much. And it's already pretty warm. Sometimes I actually go to the cool side when I've got turquoises like that in there, and that makes those blues pop. So I think that looks pretty good other than the cropping. So maybe when I'm using this photo, I'm going to crop in on it and not show all those, the dark frame edge. So I'm going to click done, and I'm going to go back to the cropping one more time and just enlarge this so that that frame isn't showing so much. So there we go. So there's that one. So now here's one more. Here's my Hello Fall. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click edit and crop it first. Oops, crop, turn it. Let's make it bigger. And you can see that it's not straight. It's a little bit skewed. So I'm going to use that tool to fix that. Maybe this might help a little bit too. Sometimes I'm not sure if I need to use this last tool or not, but I think that made it a little bit better. And I don't mind, leaving it like that. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just raise it up a little bit. So I have my grid showing, and that helps me center it. Okay, so that looks pretty good for cropping. Click done. Now I'm ready to edit the color and contrast. So I'm going to try my auto. It didn't really do too much. Let's increase it a little bit more. I'm going to increase the exposure just a bit. Since sometimes when something has a black background, it can really, it really does need to be lightened overall sometimes. Brilliance, I like to actually just take a look and see what happens if I slide this back and forth and just pick the best one. Highlights looks pretty good. Shadows, that really shows quite a bit. Wow, look at the difference that makes when I do the shadows. So if you look at the shadow underneath the artwork right there's a shadow on the carpet. See, it gets darker and then it gets lighter. But we don't really care about the shadow on the carpet. We care more about what it looks like on the artwork. So I'm going to go back to about like that. Okay, and then I usually don't use contrast too much. Brightness looks, well, maybe the brightness is too much. Sometimes you can't really tell until you try it. So I lowered the brightness. I usually bring the black point up to get nice rich darks, right? Nice rich blacks. Saturation, it kind of looked a little blown out, so I upped my saturation a little bit. Vibrance, I'm going to up a little bit, and that's really it. Maybe a little bit warmer because anytime I shoot in my studio, it always looks a little on the cool side. So that looks pretty good. I would say we're done with that. And so now I've got that one ready. So I've got these 3 photos and I want to file them in that folder that I created earlier. So I'm going to hit select. And then I'm going to go choose these 3 photos, 1, 2, 3. And then at the bottom, I've got this arrow box and I'm going to find that folder, which is, oh, I need to scroll up. Oop. Scroll up this way to save to files right here, save to files, click on that. And it's going to take me to whatever folder I had open last. So I'm going to go to my main level of my iCloud drive, and I'm going to look for the folder, what did I name it? I think I named it, did I name it Shop Listings? Oops. Oh, how about Recents? Will it show me that? No. Shop Listings. There we go. Shop Listings. Folder is empty. So then I click Save. And it's going to save into that folder. I'm going to go back and prove to you that they are there. There they are. Shop Listings. So, and then usually I would name them here. You can just click on it and long hold your finger on it to name it. Let's see, where's rename? Rename. And I would just call this one is called Fall Forest. This one is called, rename. This one is called White Peacock. And this one is called Hello Fall. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you will take some time to play around with the Photos app on your iPhone, or, if you've got, we all have different phones, and I can't speak to all the different ones out there, but if you would take the time to just play around with your Photos app and your phone, you can Google how to create a folder on your particular phone. It might be a little bit different of a setup. And then play around with your Photos app and get your photos tweaked to their ultimate best. And it can only help you sell your artwork. And of course, that's what we want to see you do. We want to help you succeed in all of your creative journey. So that's it. I am Aggie with The Painter's Journey, and I just wanted to share with you how to edit your photos. Have a great day, guys. Bye.